Hello, friends, from the pit of illness and coughing and so on, such forth. It's me again, and I thought of something I could talk about. Um, well, I could add more to this text editor thing, but that's going along great. There's lots of wonderful things. Like remembering the fonts of different files. See? Different files have different fonts. That one's like that. Actually, I wanted. Which one was it? Oh no. This isn't what I'm going to get to. So a mistake has been made. Okay, well, it doesn't work perfectly. It's supposed to remember those fonts. Unfortunately, no, I'm pretty. Well, it could be. Oh, this is the wrong version. Yeah, this is 2005. I fixed that problem. Let's see now, where are we? This one or something? Okay, that was supposed to be funny. This is supposed to be this, and it's going to stay that, even if I exit a different font and start it up. It remembers. That was a problem. Because I hadn't anticipated that I would have different fonts for different files. So there was some mix up with with maintaining those lists. And sometimes I'd just be moving things around by name, and so the last font would become the current font always. But now, see, I have an extra thing here called a default font. So for something like if I do a new, that's going to be in the default font. Or if I open something, it hasn't been opened before. I don't know what hasn't been opened before. Hard to find something. Anyway, that bug searching went on for a while, and I think I fixed them. Did I install the fix? I don't know. I can tell you in a second. That's supposed to be that. This is 0, in fact. That was the problem with that. It does say courier new, but previously it was something else. Who was that? Here. Now if I start with that, it'll have become that font immediately. Okay, that's good. And if I make a new thing, it should query or new. Alright, everything's did I lose one? I had LumaPad. I'm not sure. No, that's wrong. How did that go wrong? Here I've got lines that don't have the thing. Maybe I'm not taking that into account. That certainly doesn't work. That works. Okay, but it's closer. It's closer. Oh, but we're not adding anything to replace. We're not adding the R. I see. So if this is double slashes, that, otherwise just line, then that should fix it. Nothing to it. Oh man. So for a blank line, you can not add it. It worked perfectly. Right to the end. See that? I knew it. I knew for sure it was going to work. This is going to work. But unfortunately, I can't figure out how to deal with an empty line anymore. But it doesn't matter. The regular compiler does that. Okay. Now, that's all great. Oh, and another feature I added. My favorite feature is this. Control L. Undoable, but also I could do this. See what I'm saying? That's pretty fast. It's pretty good for editing. If you want to take a part of a line, what you can do is, if you suppose I just want a copy of this part, I can go Control L, undo, but I still got the copy and I can put it somewhere else. So that's pretty good. The rest of the video is about what I'm going to do next. Okay. Sorry about this interruption. I could talk about, so this is a bit of a heads up, is this, but the thing that I hate so much, COM, the component object model, which in its infancy, when the idea was first being developed, didn't look like such a bad idea. And I can show you, I found an example online. I couldn't remember. I had made a COM application once for a remote procedure call, and then this thing I have, it doesn't do that. But I remember it wasn't really much. There wasn't much to doing it, and the idea is pretty straightforward. But I couldn't find a good example, and then I just came across a good example. It took a while for me to get working, but now I got it working, and it's just a few lines, and it demonstrates at least the principle of how the component object model works, the idea of the server and the interface and all those things. Um, it's lacking in that it's not a. You wouldn't be able to use this particular example for your Visual Basic program or something, because as COM was developed further and further, the features that enabled you to use the objects in a sort of arbitrary way in any application came along later. And those are things like type libraries and stuff that this thing doesn't have. It's just a very simple thing. It creates a COM interface, which one registers with the system, and this particular interface you can create an instance of it, and what it does is it does some arithmetic operations. Okay, so you can still use it in your program, but it wouldn't work seamlessly with, Visual Basic or something. There's no reason why you couldn't modify it in such a way that it could do, remote procedure calls or access the internet or whatever. But you would have to do all that manually. It wouldn't be automatic. Anyway, so next video I'm gonna get on to that example. It should be fairly short. You know me. Short doesn't mean short. No, these are shorts. I'm not short. Alright then. Okay, see you soon.